Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to another episode of Scotch Sunday, or in this case, Single Malt Sunday, here on Drums and Drams. My name's Cameron, and today I'm gonna tell you about one of the best whiskeys I've tasted so far in 2025, and that's not limited to Scotch, that's not limited to single malt, it's across everything. Bourbon, rye, Irish, different Armagnacs and cognacs. This truly is one of the best things I have put in my mouth in 2025. I know this bottle came out in 2024. There's a date on the back, which was April of 2024, but it took me until a few months ago to get my hands on one of these. I had it shipped over from Japan. It did cost $650, so it's not cheap. But in this video, I'm not gonna go into this going, oh, I wonder how it's gonna be. Let's find out together. No, I'm gonna tell you what I think of it right off the bat, which is, again, that this is one of the best things I've tasted this year so far, and one of my favorite single malts I've ever tasted. And that's not because it's a nuanced, complex, thinkers kind of whiskey. It's because it blows the brakes off of your palate. It's got a great proof. It has one of the craziest colors for a whiskey I think I've ever seen. And this is not uncommon for Kavalan products. If you're familiar with any of their stuff, they're really dark and really high octane kind of whiskeys. But this one just hits on a completely different level. It's the 15th anniversary single sherry cask strength version of Kavalan. It's got this fancy bottle. There is a bourbon cask version of this too, with kind of like a yellow gold kind of bottle. It did come with a big fancy presentation box. We don't need to pull that out right now. You get the picture. Again, it's not cheap, but the goal of this video is to tell you why I love this so much, to encourage you to, if you see this at a bar, to pay a little bit of money for a pour of this, because I think it's truly special. Or if you're used to spending $650 on a bottle like this, I think this is one that you shouldn't pass up. I think it's one that you should actually pull the trigger on, even at that insanely high price point. So let's go ahead and get into it now. This particular single cask ended up with 245 bottles. It's bottled at 56.3% ABV. Again, that is cask strength. Let's go to the nose now. I'm gonna tell you why I love this whiskey so freaking much. Sampled it out to people that do not drink single malt, do not drink Scotch, and I blinded them with it, and they had no clue what it was, and they loved it. So if that tells you anything, I don't think this is limited just to single malt lovers. Let's go to the nose now. Yeah, I mean, this smells ridiculous. So like I said, this is not the most complex, not the most layered thing. It's very, very focused on the nose. It's just a dark fruit monster. It's figs, it's plums, and it's all of those like purple and black fruit notes at the highest level of concentration that I think I've ever smelled in any kind of product. It really kind of smells like, almost like an Armagnac, like a 30 to 50 year Armagnac that's, again, dense and rich and concentrated. It has those kind of brandied fruit notes to it. Lots and lots of leather going on here. Lots and lots of kind of like aromatic clovey sorts of spice notes. But through and through, this is just dark fruit all day. I might come back to the nose, I don't know, but I just want to taste this. Here we go, cheers. Oh. Good Lord. I'm probably not even gonna cut around in this video and cut out all of the me sitting here and pondering it and being amazed by how good it is. Probably just gonna leave in as much of this as I possibly can, because this truly is insane. Like, very gripping up front. It has a little dryness to it, but that dryness is kind of countered with enough life from the proof and from the intensity and concentration that it never feels too dry, it never feels too tannic. It's all kind of a balancing act. It really is like the most fruit that I have maybe ever tasted in a product. And I don't know if it's the climate, the casks that they're using, I don't know what is going on to make this whiskey taste so intense, but I love it. And I've got to say, like, this cask, I don't know if it's Oloroso or PX. It is Oloroso. And that makes sense, because what I was gonna say is, this doesn't have the sweetness of a PX cask. This has that intense kind of bitey fruitiness, like very fleshy, skinny, not skinny, but like fruit skin, where you get kind of like that bitterness and that intensity. It has all of that, which I tend to get more from Oloroso and less from PX. But this doesn't have any of the almond nuttiness, at least this single cask. Doesn't have any of that almond note that I get sometimes from Oloroso, and that's a good thing for me. I'm not a big, almond Oloroso kind of person, just like I'm not a big, peanut person when it comes to my bourbons. I just would prefer those to be a very faint note and not prominent, and that's the case with this Kavalan 15. So uber concentrated, very Armagnac-like, very almost dusty bourbon-like. It reminds me of some dusties almost from like the 60s and 70s era of bourbon, not necessarily the 80s, 90s. 80s, 90s more sweet, a little more butterscotch, and this does have a little bit of that kind of butterscotchiness to it, but more than that, it has like that 60s and 70s profile of like almost asphalt, tar, heavy dark fruit. Like that's where this thing shines. So I gotta do one more sip before we wrap this up. But again, if you're if you're at all contemplating a special bottle purchase, this is a special bottle purchase, and I don't feel bad about encouraging people to spend $650. Here we go, one more sip. Oh my God, wow. Listen, it's not a bad thing to put a drop or two of water in this one. I'm not gonna do it right now. I've done it, other times off camera, but it does tame a little bit of that like intense, like sharp, sort of bitter fruit thing that happens at the front of the palate. Then in the mid palate, it gets more leathery, more rich, old, kind of musty oak. Then on the back end, you get back into a little bit of that bitter, like fruit skin thing. I don't even know what else to say about this. Amazing whiskey. Hats off to Kavalan. I look forward to buying more of their products now. I mean, I've had a few things here and there over the years. I decided to pull the trigger on this kind of on a whim. I was just so curious. It arrived from a store in Japan. It was packed amazingly. Really hard to get out of the box, which I love to see, especially for international shipments like that. And then when I cracked this open and smelled it, I knew immediately that I wasn't gonna feel bad about making this purchase, and I don't. Amazing whiskey. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know if you've tried it. This is gonna be one for everybody, I think. Not just Scotch, not just single malt lovers. Cheers, and I'll see you soon here on Drums and Drams.